And all the beautiful young maidens were to gather at the king's palace in 21 market days for Prince Abeze to choose his bride. All the maidens of the land were very happy and excited to hear the news, and they all started to make preparations before the 21 market days. However, the prince's identity was kept mute till the day he would pick his bride. So, none of the maidens were able to describe him except the king, his father, and the palace staff, and they were all under an oath not to reveal Prince Abaze's identity to anyone outside the palace. Welcome to Chama's Folk Tales. Today's story is The Three Sisters and the Chosen Bride. Once upon a time, there lived three sisters named Chigozie, Chidinma, and Chikode. Chikode was the eldest daughter, Chigozie the middle daughter, while Chidinma was the youngest daughter. They were all daughters of Mazi Anyanwu, the Onowu of the village, and to the king. Chigozie and Chidinma were very beautiful, and they were the desires of almost all the young men in the village. Their beauty were charming, which made the young men beg to marry them. Chigozie and Chidinma were full of pride, and they would always chase away suitors who they think were not financially loaded. On the other hand, Chikode was not as beautiful as her siblings. She was fat, and for that, no man ever wants to marry her. And they would always make mockery of her by calling her Fati Orobo. Whenever Chigozie and Chidinma wants to take a stroll round the village, they would always go alone, and when Chikode pleaded to go with them, they would refuse and told her to stay at home in order not to ruin their chances of getting a wealthy man to marry because of her fat nature. Chikode, with tears in her eyes, would cry all day, blaming herself for being fat. Whenever Chikode went to the farm to fetch some firewood or go to the village stream to fetch some water, other beautiful maidens would be chanting her name, clapping their hands, and calling her Fati Orobo just to humiliate her. The humiliations continued for months till one day, the crown prince and heir to the throne was to pick the most beautiful maiden for a wife. The king sent the message round the village through a town crier, and all the beautiful young maidens were to gather at the king's palace in 21 market days for Prince Abeze to choose his bride. All the maidens of the land were very happy and excited to hear the news, and they all started to make preparations before the 21 market days. However, the prince's identity was kept mute till the day he would pick his bride. So, none of the maidens were able to describe him except the king, his father, and the palace staff, and they were all under an oath not to reveal Prince Abaze's identity to anyone outside the palace. Chigozie and Chidinma were more excited about the news, and they wished one of them would be chosen by the prince, except Chikode, for she was too fat and the prince wouldn't ever bear to look at her, let alone making her his bride. One day, Chigozie and Chidinma were taking a walk as usual when two young men approached them. "My name is Uche, and my friend's name is Ikenna." The young men introduced themselves. "Please, what are your names?" Uche and Ikenna asked. "Our names are Chigozie and Chidinma," both sisters replied. I'm a hunter from the neighboring village and I'm interested in marrying you and make you my wife. You fool! As beautiful as I am, do you think I'm made for you? Do you think I'm born to suffer with an ordinary hunter like you? Do you have what it takes to maintain me? Chigozie asked in an angry tone. Don't you ever in your miserable, frustrated and castrated life vomit such rubbish again. You poverty-stricken idiot. Chigozie said, You are too poor and smelling for my liking. Chidinma added, and both walked away, leaving Uche and his friend Ikenna hanging in shock and surprised. 2 days later, Uche and Ikenna were on their way back from the bush where they went to check their traps when they came across Chigozie and Chidinma licking some mangoes. They felt relieved, for they had been in the bush setting and checking their traps with an empty stomach. They pleaded with Chigozie and her sister Chidinma to spare them some mangoes, for they were very hungry. Both sisters stared at them with a disgusting and bombastic side eyes for a minute and said, You two again? Why are you following us? They asked. We are not following you. It's just a coincidence that we met again. Uche replied. Please spare us some mangoes. We have been in the bush since morning and we are very hungry. Please. Uche pleaded. We should spare you some mangoes. Are you not ashamed of yourselves? You are begging for mangoes as old as you are. So, if I accepted to marry you today, this is how you will turn me to a beggar like you? And the villagers would say, #Mr. and Mrs. Beggars. Chigozie asked. Anyways, I won't give you any mango, not even one. If you're hungry, go home and cook, or better still, get married to a maiden of your class to cook for you. You poor beggar, Chigozie said also, and they carried their basket of mangoes and left, leaving Uche and his friend Ikenna hanging in shock for the second time. One day, Uche and his friend Ikenna was coming back from the bush as usual when they met Chikode carrying a pot of water. They pleaded with her to spare them some water, and without hesitations, Chikode gave them some water from her water pot to drink. Uche and Ikenna looked at each other in amazement and smiled silently. I'm Uche, and this is my friend Ikenna. What is your name? And who is your father? Uche asked. My name is Chikode, and I'm the daughter of Mazi Anyanwu, the Onowu of the village. Chikode replied, Very nice. Beautiful name for a beautiful maiden like you. Do you mind if I be your friend? He also asked. No problem. You are free to be my friend, as long as you are a nice man, because I don't like trouble and I always stay away from trouble. Chikode said in reply. Uche and Ikenna laughed over her reply and told her that he is a nice man and not troublesome. And from that day, they became friends. Uche would always wait for Chikode at their meeting place to give her the bushmeat his trap caught the previous night. Sometimes, Chikode would follow him to the farm to harvest some yams and cassava, and their friendship grew stronger. One day, Uche could no longer hide his feelings and he proposed to Chikode. At first, he was scared of being rejected like other maidens, but he was more happier when Chikode said yes to his proposal. And he made plans on letting her father, the Onowu, to know his intentions towards her the next day, and for them to start the marriage preparations. When he got there, he was surprised to see Chigozie and Chidinma. When Mazi Anyanwu, the girl's father, introduced them as his daughters as well. Uche and his friend Ikenna were surprised to know that Chikode, Chigozie and Chidinma were sisters but different in nature, and they imagined what Chikode would be going through in their hands after their encounter with them many times. "You poor idiot again! What are you doing in my father's house? Why are you here and who invited you?" Chigozie and Chidinma asked. "I'm not here for you or because of you. I'm here for Chikode, your elder sister." Uche replied. "Wow! Birds of the same feather flock together, they say. Finally, you've seen your type. Fati Orobo and a poor beggar. Perfect match, you know. Mad combo," Chidinma added, and both began to laugh and walked away. After some minutes' discussions with Mazi Anyanwu, finally they both agreed and concluded on the wedding date, which was to take place a day after the 21 market days. Throughout that day, Chigozie and Chidinma kept laughing and making mockery of Chikode for accepting to marry an ordinary hunter who begs for food. But Chikode paid no mind to what they were saying. 21 market days later, all the beautiful young maidens of the land gathered at the king's palace, for it was the day they have been waiting for. A day for Prince Abazie to choose his bride, the next queen of the land. Chigozie and Chidinma were very happy and determined that the prince would choose one of them. Before that day, Uche pleaded with Chikode to be present at the palace that day for them to learn some new things from the prince per their wedding day. Chikode refused but later agreed to be there after much pleading by Uche and his friend Ikenna. After the king and Onowu had given their speech, it was time for Prince Abazie to choose his bride from the beautiful maidens that have gathered in the palace that day. When Prince Abazie emerged from the inside, lo and behold, it was Uche, Chigozie, Chidinma, Chikode, and their father, the Onowu, Mazi Anyanwu, were all surprised to know that Uche and Prince Abazie are the same person. Then, Chidinma and Chigozie could no longer control their tears, and they pleaded with him to forgive them and choose one among them. Prince Abazie reminded them of their words, that he doesn't have what it takes to maintain them, and he's just a poor frustrated beggar and a poor hunter. He pushed them aside and went straight to Chikode, held her hands, and took her to his father the king as his chosen bride. And the king, his father, and Onowu, and the elders in council blessed their union. All the maidens who had wronged Chikode in the past because of her fat nature, including her sisters, now regretted their actions, filled with remorse, and wished they could turn back the clock to amend their ways and actions, but it was too late for them all. And that was how Chikode, the fat girl, married Prince Abazie, the crowned king, and they lived happily ever after. Lessons from this is that do not judge a book by its cover, for the beauty of the heart is beyond the facial beauty. Do not discriminate others because of their physical appearance, for we are all blessed by nature and special and unique in different ways. Lastly, love and beauty is not all about money and facial looks, but inner peace and beauty matters a lot. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please let me know where you are watching us from at the comment section. And don't forget to support our channel by subscribing, like, share and comment below. It really helps us a lot to grow. Thank you for your time and see you soon in our next story. Bye.